Testing 1, 2, 3. I believe I'm up. I believe I am up. Testing 1, 2, 3. Yes, I am up. I am up. I am up. There you go. Text. Create Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Yes, I am alive. Yes, I am here. All right. Morning, morning, Bob.
What's going on, Matt?
Not much. We about ready to go?
Yeah, I got you.
You got me?
From Houston, audio only. All right, let me hear you, man.
All right, testing 1, 2, 3. This is Matt. 1, 2, 3. Live from Houston, Texas. Too much pizza, too late.
All right, we got about a 13-second delay.
All right.
All right, hang on one. No, actually longer than that. Hang on.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Live from Houston, Texas. Yeah, close to about a 20-second delay.
All right.
Not too bad.
Okay. So when you give me 30 seconds, I'll wait about 15 and come in.
Yeah. Hang on.
All right.
All right. Okay. So when you give me, so it looks like we're about close to about a 25-second delay. I should try to time it roughly. So, yeah, I'll just tell you to start talking.
Okay.
I think that's probably the best way to do it.
All right.
All right, but we got a feed.
Yay. Yeah, I think that was Jeff. I'm not sure what was happening last week, but it took me less than 1 minute to open up my computer, turn it on, and get my feed going. So
Sometimes some people like to get too technical.
there you go.
All right, I like it. All right, so we're in local commercials, so we've got about 2 minutes until we go to your music.
All right, you just tell me when to start talking.
I certainly will.
Okay.
If that's what I do best.
There you go.
That.
Yeah.
Still hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. I was talking to you and I wasn't getting any response, so it kind of worried me for a second.
You know what? No, I was I wasn't. I was hearing just some crack, crack, crack. So I wasn't hearing you.
Oh. Okay. Thank you. How your drive went?
Oh, drive went pretty. You know, as long as there's a Buc-ee's on the road, man, it's a good drive.
All right, I got 30 seconds to do your bed.
Okay.
So here we go. Get ready. All right, man, go ahead and start.
Good morning, folks. So happy to be here with you on a hot, muggy. You know, I haven't even stepped outside yet, and I'm in Houston, Texas. You're supposed to say, bless your heart, so I'll try that again, and I'll give you a second. Yeah, this is Matt. I'm in Houston, Texas. Bless your heart. See, there you go, how easy that was. Yeah, bless my heart. Thank you very much. Y'all keep me in your prayers. This is a scary place. You know, I hit 610 yesterday, and there was this funny smell started coming, and I really, honestly, I thought something maybe had just died under the front seat of my truck and was rapidly decomposing. But then after a few more miles, I realized it was just Houston. And you think I'm kidding? I'm not. There was just a funny smell. I guess that's what comes from living in the clean air of the hill country. I hope everybody is going to have a good day today. We're looking forward to being up here. I'm at the state convention in Houston. The convention that is not the convention that got canceled by the Supreme Court. Eventually, the Supreme Court of Texas. So what happened last week, at the last minute, the mayor of Houston decided that he just didn't want to have that Republican convention here in Houston, and so at the very last second, he decided to change the plans of about 7,000 to 8,000 people and tell them, we're not going to let you come to Houston. So the Republican Party, of course, put up a good fight, took it through several courts, and yesterday, Monday, I hope it's still Tuesday today, yesterday on Monday, the Supreme Court said, nope, can't have it in Texas. And I guess the saddest part about this was our own Attorney General, Ken Paxton, sent one of his attorneys up to the Supreme Court, not to argue in favor of the Republicans in the state of Texas, but to argue in favor of the mayor of Houston, Sylvester Turner, a Democrat. And so our own Attorney General that we elected, a man who has an R by his name, sided with the Democrat mayor of Houston to just cancel our show. And so to cancel the state convention. Well, there was some confusion in that, some of it on my part. So I thought since the convention was canceled, that meant it was all canceled, that the committee meetings that started yesterday were canceled. And I found out Sunday night late that no, they weren't. But then it was too late for me to really get to Houston and take care of business. So I came up yesterday. I did sit in on a couple of committee meetings yesterday for a very short period of time as I got here pretty late in the afternoon. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that today. We have good representation from the Hill Country. I have already seen 4 other people from Fredericksburg, from the Hill Country, and I know there will be more today. And those groups that we work with as the Fredericksburg Tea Party, and I've told you about them over the years, the groups like Texas Right to Life, Texas Values, Gun Owners of America. These guys are all up here. Rachel with Gun Owners of America spoke with her several times yesterday. And Texas Values and Texas Right to Life was actually in one of the committee meetings giving testimony and helping the committee members understand the law a little bit better. And so it's these organizations that we work with, the Fredericksburg Tea Party works with on a regular basis, they are up here already. They are up here and they are giving their conservative voice to the platform and the rules of the Republican Party. So let's see. I got a couple of things on the calendar. First of all, today is the official election day, and so if you have a runoff in your county or in your area, then today is the last day to go check that out. In Kerr County, I know you have a choice to make to decide who is going to be your Republican candidate for the office of sheriff in Kerr County. And we know that is an important, and you need to choose between Larry and Eli, Larry Letha and Eli Garcia. Both of them I've interviewed several times on the air, and I hope you've had your chance to make your decision on that. Also, very, very important is the vote for State Board of Education position number 5. And Lonnie Pope, P-O-P-P. Yes, I know it's spelled funny. She even knows it's spelled funny. She's Hawaiian. It's a Hawaiian name. Lonnie is L-A-N-I. And her last name is Pope, P-O-P-P. Lots of P's, but yet it is pronounced Pope. And so please go vote. In Gillespie County, if you have not voted, that's going to be the only thing on a Republican ballot in Gillespie County is going to be the State Board of Education runoff. And so that will decide who represents the Republicans in the November ballot for the State Board of Education position number 5. So that's very, very, very important, folks, to go out and make that choice and go vote today. This is your last chance. And let's see, what else on the calendar? Oh, yeah, Thursday. This Thursday, the Hill Country Preppers are going to be having their monthly meeting. They meet the third Thursday of every month, and they are going to be meeting at Buzzy's and Buzzy's Barbecue there in Kerrville. The meeting starts at 6 o'clock. Go a little early, grab some barbecue. You know, the toughest thing I have up there is to decide what I'm going to have for breakfast. So anyway, I'll come back, tell you some more stories about the convention, and we're going to take a short break right now, and I'll be back in a few. All right, I sort of got you cracked up a little bit there.
We got about less than a minute. I'll tell you when to go.
All right. Was that a go-ahead?
Yes, sir. Go for it.
All right. Good morning, folks. We're back. You're listening to the Matt Long Show. I'm broadcasting live out of Houston, Texas, in the Holiday Inn Express, a penthouse suite. Nah, just kidding. I don't think they have penthouse suites at the Holiday Inn Express. But I'm a couple of blocks away from the convention center, and very quiet, very eerily. It's just very strange here. I had a hard time even finding a place to eat dinner last night, and so as a result of that, I ended up ordering pizza way too late, and my tummy just doesn't handle pizza late at night. So anyway, I'm very excited to get back over to the convention this morning. Let me give you a little Ben Franklin here. Ben giving us some advice on how to have peace in your life. And I'm not sure if I would follow this advice, but anyway, you can have peace if you do the following: neither trust, nor contend, nor lay wagers, nor lend, and you'll have peace to your lives' end. I guess you would have peace, but I think I'd just as soon trust some people and contend with some people, and probably won't lay many wagers, but I probably will end up and have lended to some folks. So I think I'd rather live my life with a little bit of contention and trust in it. Than take Ben's advice on that. He may have had his tongue firmly planted in his cheek when he said that. So here we are. We're at the convention. So a lot of people ask me, Matt, when do I go? They advertise this thing as going from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Those are the dates they give you, and anybody in the Republican Party knows that, well, I take that back. A handful of people in the Republican Party know that what actually happens on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is when all the work gets done defining what the Republican Party is. How do you define what a Republican is? Well, you define a Republican by the platform. And so the development of the platform and the development of the rules of the party happen on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of the convention every year. And I guess these are called pre-convention meetings. That may be some of the language I have learned this year, is that there's the convention and then there's the pre-convention meetings. And so I'm learning. You'd think after 8 years I would have already known all this stuff, but I don't. So we had quite a few people who, before the Kung flu, I asked them to commit to coming over to Houston on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And so as we got closer, we all made our reservations for a week long rather than just, Thursday night and Friday night reservations. And people changed their plans and set aside this entire week. And so we all showed up yesterday, and so there's quite an advantage this year. Now, under normal years, you would get here on Monday, and there would be hundreds of people, maybe 1,000 people up here. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me to guess, having only been to 2 other conventions. But I'm guessing maybe 1,000 people show up for those first 3 days, and they're the 1,000 who end up in the platform committee and the rules committee and all the subcommittees that go along with that. And so what you can do if you're not on one of these committees, you can sit in and listen and watch, and then contribute your opinion and testify, if you will, on or against or for any of the platform resolutions or rule resolutions that come up. Now, under normal situations with, let's just say, 1,000 people up here, it's quite a task. There are a lot of people who want to testify and on certain things, and so the line gets long, and there really is no schedule other than the meeting starts at 8 in the morning. I mean, that's about it of the schedule. And so if you're a planner, if you want to know all the details well ahead of time, whoo, this is not going to be your cup of tea, because they just start on Monday morning at 8, and that's it. And they take some scheduled food breaks. In years past, some of these committees have met well late into the night. And so how does it look different this year? So I walked into a committee meeting room yesterday afternoon. It was one of the subcommittees of the platform. I believe it was Health and Human Services, but I can't tell you for sure now. So there were about 8 or 9 people in the audience, if you want to call it that, with all their seats appropriately, 3 feet apart, and even though following Robert's Rules of Order, since there were so few people in the room, and the committee was sitting around very less formal than what I've seen in the past, and actually just sitting around kind of looking like a work session that you may have on a Friday at your office, where everybody just, puts a bunch of donuts on the table and sit around. We're going to hash out a bunch of stuff today, all right? That may be what an office, I don't know, work day for you may look like. And so it was very informal, kind of casual. And one of the things I realized, that having only be 3 or 4 or half a dozen people in the room, that it's not too difficult for you to testify. Not difficult at all for you to testify. And not difficult at all for you to put in a word here and there. In fact, one of the things that came up was, as the committee was discussing, they were actually looking at the platform, at one of the planks on the platform that had to do with parental consent for medical services provided to minors. And so we have some language in there in the Republican Party, in the platform, one of the planks that says that as a Republican, we believe that parents should have knowledge and give consent on any medical procedures of a minor, right? And that's what the Republican Party says they believe in. So there was taking a look at adding some language to that, actually strengthening. And so one of the, I believe the chairman of the committee had a question that was kind of a legal question, and he said, so what? He was asking the committee, so what, how's this going to affect, what does the law say on this, and are we going outside of the law on this platform, the suggestion, or within the law? Where does this sit? And so none of the committee members knew the answer to that. And someone said, well, is there a lawyer in the room? And no one spoke up. Actually, Tom Glass had just been sitting next to me, but he had left. So the lawyer I knew was in the room had just left. And however, the Texas values and the Texas right to life people were there at the end of the row I was sitting on. And one of them said, well, I have some knowledge about this stuff, and here is the law, and let me tell you what the law says, and I can explain to you why that language makes a difference. And so having been there made a big difference. And I know this might upset some folks who decided not to go, like me, just didn't have enough information. I flat out didn't have enough information to get up here Sunday. I didn't think these things were going to happen, but they were. And so for a lack of information, I got up here a day late. And so this may bother some of you that didn't come and are now listening, because the few people in the room are having quite a strong voice since they are here. Now, this is there is the opportunity, and I saw this on the Republican page, for you to Zoom into the meetings and offer testimony. Now, I didn't see that happening in the subcommittee I was on. yesterday. In fact, I didn't see any information on it. I finally, last night late, I went to the Republican Party website in the Texas GOP website. And after doing some digging, I did see some links on connecting via Zoom and giving testimony in front of these committees. It is there. None of this was advertised. It really, folks, a lot of the information you got on this is going to depend on your county chair. Some county chairs were way on top of this. In fact, I was getting information from other county chairs, not my own, not Gillespie County and not Kerr County. Haven't seen the information from either of those guys. No emails from Gillespie County, no texts, no nothing. But from other counties, they had schedules listed for their delegates. They had information for their delegates. And so another thing I learned yesterday is that through all of this hoopla, and granted, this is a very unusual situation, folks. This is extremely unusual. But the responsibility of your county chair is showing up huge. If you have a good county chair, you are going to be on top of things. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. I will be right back. Please stay tuned. All right, folks, we are back. Thank you for your patience. If we have any technical issues today, we appreciate you sticking in there and hanging with us. Thank you to Bob back in the bunker for helping me out and making this possible, because this was very important to me to be here live on the scene in the middle of the action this week, and also still have the ability to report back to you. So I want to, if you're upset that you aren't here and you're hearing things happening that you would like to be a part of, if you're a delegate or if you want to testify to any of these platform or rules, then here's what you need to do. You need to go to texasgop.org, texasgop.org, and on the landing page, if you scroll across the top on the landing page, it's going to say Issues, People, Join, News, Elections, Grassroots Club, Victory, and then you're going to get over to one that says Conventions, and the drop-down menu is going to give you, you'll see at the bottom of the drop-down menu, it says 2020 State Convention. All right, now there you can start there and get you some information on what's happening. If your county chair has not been in touch with you, if your county chair is not helping you keep up to date on this, if your county chair is not giving you guidance on this, this is where you'll need to go. You're kind of on your own. I've been finding out that a lot the last couple of weeks. If you want to participate, you really have to. You can't sit back and wait for someone to tell you what to do. You're going to have to go find your information out. You're going to have to be very, very proactive. All right. So on that page on the 2020 convention, there are lots of links now that were not there that were not there a couple of days ago. There is links for the form to sign up to testify, and then there are the Zoom meeting links to testify virtually. So you can find those on the 2020 State Convention page of texasgop.org. So from what I understand, that's how it works if you're away from here. You go to that page, and there's your information for that. Now, there is a convention schedule there, and let me tell you, here's what the decision that was made last night. The SREC last night decided to, well, I guess it's kind of obvious. Your Senate district caucuses are going to take place virtually. Now, if you are a delegate, this is where your vote really, really, really counts, is in your SD caucus. Your SD caucus. When your SD caucus, your Senate district caucus, gets together, and that's going to start on Thursday, then if you want your voice to be heard, if you're a delegate, and you want to participate, in fact, that's why you signed up to be a delegate, is so you could participate, then you need to need to get the information before Thursday. Don't wait to the last minute. And I'm going to try to bring you the information as soon as I get it. But listen, I don't have any information, and I'm here in the middle of the mix. The decision was made last night to have the Senate District caucuses that are scheduled for Thursday, to have them virtually. And so before Thursday, you should be getting email, you should be getting contacts, maybe a text, maybe a phone call. Ideally, it should be from your county chair. Your county chair should be contacting you in the next several days, and listen, they ought to contact you in the next 24 hours. You're not going to need to download anything except Zoom. Your voting will take place with an integrated, I think it's called Pulse. I'm not even sure about it, but there's going to be a way to vote that is secure. Your invitation as a delegate will be a number that is unique to you. So they're not going to send out a Zoom invitation that everybody can cut and paste and copy and send out to everybody. Your Zoom invitation, if you are a delegate, will be unique to you. Don't send that to anybody. Don't forward that to anybody, because with that unique ID number, they can log in. In fact, I'm pretty sure only one person can log in with that unique number. So if you forward that on thinking you're doing someone a favor and they get in before you do, or come in after you do, it's possible that you would lose your credentials, that your credentials would be challenged. And so you might need to, if you've watched any Zoom conferences, and you see how silly they are or can be, and if you've never participated in one, it might not hurt for you to get that software, get that loaded, and be ready to go and have practiced with it. If you get any emails or texts that say there's delegate training, don't ignore that. Even if you've been going to the conventions as a delegate for the last 50 years, right? Some of you old pros out there, it's different this year. It is completely different this year. So everybody, if you get that notice that says delegate training on it, make sure you tune in and attend that. One of the things I've been seeing on some of these Zoom conferences that have been going with the SREC is you can tell folks who have not been paying attention by the questions they ask during the Zoom conference. You can just tell they haven't been opening their emails. They haven't gone to any of the other training sessions, and I understand that. I could see where it comes up on a night that's just not convenient for you, and the phone calls at 6:30, and that's during dinner time, or I can understand, and you say, I've been a delegate all these years. I don't need no stinking delegate training. I get it, all those things, but it's different this year. Now, here's the interesting part. So, the Gillespie County, in our Senate district, we have a voting strength of, I believe, 20 votes. All right, and so when our caucus meets, when our Senate district caucus meets, the Gillespie County will have 20 votes. Now, if one person shows up at that SD, who is if one person is on that SD caucus, that Senate district caucus from Gillespie County, that one person gets all 20 votes. All right, you heard me correctly. So the votes are weighted. All right, so regardless of how many people show up from your county, you get the number of votes that your county has been assigned. Now, where did that number come from? That number comes from how many people in your county voted Republican in the primary. It comes from the past voting record of your county. I can't tell you exactly where it comes from. I should know that, but I don't. But it comes from your voting record in your county. So if you have a lot of delegates in your county, that means your county has turned up really strong for the Republicans. I think Kerr County has 34, maybe 37 delegates. I could be way off on that, but I think that's the number I remember. Gillespie County has 20 delegates. A few years ago when I was here, we had 24. One year we had 25. So voter participation, Republican participation is dropping off in Gillespie County, which is reflected by the number of delegates that we get and the number of votes and the strength that we have as a county in the state party. And so all of this to say, if you blow off the SD caucus the Senate District Caucus that takes place on Thursday. And had you been in Houston, you would be in the room and all your friends would be here, but this is all going to be virtual now. That means you're going to have to get online Thursday. You're going to have to do things that are unusual. You're going to have to do Zoom. You're going to have to do things you may have not done before. And it may be tempting for you just to say, I'm just going to blow it off this year. Not a good move, because the few people that show up, they're still going to have the 20 votes. They're still going to have those 20 votes. And so it's up to you to participate and be active in that. And again, you're going to have to go out of your way this year. This convention is completely different, but it's still happening. So watch for emails from your county chair. Watch for emails from your Senate district, from maybe your SREC. Just check any emails, any texts or phone calls you get from the Republican Party, and they'll keep you informed. Folks, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. I think we're going into 1 Corinthians this morning. I'm not too sure. I'll have to look over there. We'll see you in a second. All right, you're listening to the Matt Long Show. We are live from Houston at the Not Convention Convention. I guess now I've found out officially that it is the pre-convention meetings that I'm up here attending, and in about 30 minutes I hope to be over with my friends. I want to thank the folks from Gillespie County that I know that drove out here. Annette and Angela came out, and Mike and Charlotte. That was great. Mike and Charlotte, first time to a convention, and man, they hit the ground running. They got here last night, yesterday evening, and about 8:30 last night said, "All right, Matt, tell us what to do. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? We're here to do something. What do we do?" And it was like, "All right, take a breath. It's going to be okay. We'll get you rolling tomorrow. There's nothing to do at 8:30 on Monday night." Mike and Charlotte were here, and this is going to be an experience for them. A convention like this is either going to drive you away from the Republican Party, or it's going to make you want to jump in and get busy. So I'm hoping it's the latter. Now, I was looking through my email as during this last break, and SD 24, Senate District 24, which most of you, if you're listening on the terrestrial station out of Kerrville, most of you there are in Senate District 24. So if Don Buckingham is your senator, then here in Texas, then SD 24 is the district that you are a delegate for. And so the caucus meetings are going to start on Thursday online. All right, now, so if you're a delegate, you got this email sometime this morning. I got mine at 5:02 a.m. All right, and so look for it. It's from Summerwise, SD 24, SREC. And if you're a delegate and you didn't receive this, I don't know what to tell you. You need to look in your junk folder. You need to talk to your county chair. Maybe call Summer. Be very respectful of Summer's time. She has been, I spoke with her yesterday. She has been 24/7 like most of your other Republican, those who work in the hierarchy of it. This has been so insane that they're working 24/7 these days. So I'm going to go on down into what happened. Okay, Monday night the SREC met for a couple of purposes. One of them is the legal counsel informed members that the party had exhausted all options to hold an in-person convention in Houston. And so that means that then one of the motions that was made last night decided to, they adopted the motion to have the convention virtually. Now, so some of the temporary committees, 2 of the 5 temporary committees are going to meet on the line. The other 3 temporary rules, the Rules Committee, the Platform Committee, and the Legislative Priorities Committee are still meeting in person here in Houston at the Marriott, and that's where I will be in about 30 minutes. And but the credentials and the organization committees, if you're on the credentials committee or the organization committee, then your committees have already started and they are online. The final meeting of the SREC will be electronic. It'll be Wednesday evening. Now, what does this mean for delegates? And here's where you need to pay attention if you're a delegate. Are you listening? All right, if you're a delegate, the RPT will be rolling out training to prepare delegates to meet over Zoom, to be credentialed, and to vote using the tools that were developed as the contingency plan. All right, so that's what I was saying. Be watching out for your training preparation. And now, local watch parties is something that's been suggested. In fact, I know in our counties that a lot of our delegates, where they live, their internet connection is so poor that you can't even do a Zoom meeting. And so I have a friend who actually, when he has to do internet work, he comes into town. He comes into town and brings his laptop with him if he needs to do some serious internet stuff. And I know that sounds nuts to some of you who are used to doing it right there, but you know, there's still people that live way out in the boonies and do not have that good connection yet. So one of the things they've said is that that you get together in small groups. So meet in an area, have a small group gathering. It doesn't have to be your whole SD or your whole caucus, but just come together, maybe be in a room together somewhere and have everybody, of course, is going to have their own smart device with which to cast their votes. And if you don't, I don't know what to tell you. If you're a delegate and you don't have a computer or a smartphone, I'm not judging you, but you need to get with your county chair and find out what to do about that. I do know one couple who are both delegates, and an interesting discussion we had last night was, no, they're going to be in the same room during their caucus, the Senate District Caucus, but they're going to, in order for them to both vote, they're going to need to be on separate devices. All right, and so this, so you want to have a local watch parties? That'll do. That'll work, and that way at least you can be in the room together, because some of these things are going to take quite some time, and so reach out to your county chair, and they'll be able to tell you what's going on and make sure you have what you need to attend the virtual convention. It says, so how will, and I'm back to Summer Wise's letter, how will a virtual convention work? 3 products will work together to enable us to conduct all of the necessary aspects of our online meeting. All right, Upstream. I'm assuming these are, this must be a website. I'm not sure what it is. See, this is where we need the training. You need Upstream, Zoom, and Meeting Pulse. Now, if I understand it correctly, the only app or the only thing you need to download onto your computer is Zoom. I believe that Upstream is a website, but I'm not too sure on that. See, we're all in this together. I do know that Meeting Pulse, all right, that is how we're casting and counting votes, there is nothing there that you need to upload or download or whatever it is. There's nothing there that you need to do. Once you get your invitation to Zoom and you have gone into Zoom through your unique invitation, you cannot use someone else's invitation. Through your unique invitation, you will then, when you get in on that Zoom, it will be there. The Pulse, Meeting Pulse will be there, and that's where your lights for point of order, point of inquiry, yes vote, no vote, that's where all of that will be. And so, if I understood everything last night, the only thing you need to have downloaded onto your computer or onto your phone is Zoom. All right? And I would go ahead and practice with that. And so what is still going on in Houston, and I've kind of alluded to that, but the Temporary Platform Committee, the Temporary Legislative Priorities Committee, and the Temporary Rules Committee, they are meeting in person at the Houston Marriott, and they're going to take testimony through Thursday. All right? And after that, they will meet virtually. All right, so hopefully everything you need is at texasgop.org.com. Hold on, let me get over there, seeing how I'm now got me a computer. texasgop.org, texasgop.org. And again, watch your emails, watch your phone calls, watch texts. Somebody is going to be reaching out to you if you are a delegate. All right, I am in 1 Corinthians today, 1, and we're going to go to 18. This is the wisdom of God. For the word of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and the cleverness of the clever I will set aside. Where is the wise man? Where is the scribe? Where is the debater of this age? Has not God made foolish the wisdom of the world? For since in the wisdom of God, the world through its wisdom did not come to know God, God was well pleased through the foolishness of the message preached to save those who believe. A little bit of tongue-in-cheek there in Paul in Corinthians. So, folks, there you go. On your prayer list, listen, you need to pray for these delegates. You need to pray for the Republican Party today and over the next 3 days. That's very, very important that you do that. Please pray for all of us who are on the road, for all of us who are in Houston. And you can go ahead and say it. Say, bless their hearts, and say it like you mean it. Have God bless us while we're here this week. Folks, y'all stay tuned for Lorraine, and we'll talk to you tomorrow again from Houston.